Hey everybody, it's E-Chip with Contentment. It's a beautiful October day, 2025. It's awesome. And you'll notice I've got Dumpy here behind me, our 1967 Ford F600. Dumpy's been put to work here lately, and I'll tell you, it's a good thing we made the repairs to the Dumpy that we needed to, because as you can see, Dumpy has quite a load. Now, each one of these big bundles of straw bales weighs about 1,000 pounds, and there are 9 of them on this 15-foot bed. Doing the math, that's about 9,000 pounds on a truck that is officially rated for 4,000 pounds. But it has a 15,000-pound axle on the back, so you get some idea for what one of these old trucks can do. And while I didn't expect the farmer who loaded up this straw to load it so tall, because I would prefer to climb up there and hand those bales down, so it's going to be a little tougher. But you can see what these trucks are capable of. And I'm so glad for several things. You've been following our progress on this truck. You'll know that we have replaced the brakes and bearings, that we just recently added a new auxiliary fuel tank and replaced the fuel lines all the way to the engine. The front brakes and bearings have been done. We also replaced the spring perches on the front because they were cracked, and we could not have loaded and hauled a 9,000-pound load of straw bales like this without having done that work. So, you know what? Little extra work, but then we have a machine that can really do a lot of work for us. And so there you go. That's Dumpy. If you want to learn more about Dumpy and the repairs and changes that we've made to this old truck, please like, subscribe, follow. We have a playlist called Ford F600. And the theme of that playlist is repairing things the wrong way with all the wrong tools. So we managed to do it because, we have to. We live off grid out here in the middle of nowhere. So we make do with what we have and what we can get a hold of. Anyway, invite you to watch those series of videos and stay tuned for more, because not only do we do F600 truck repairs, but we're also building a totally self-sustaining off-grid home in the Intermountain West. So stay tuned. Join us.
Hey guys, we just finished putting insulation in the bottom sill plates. We used 4.5, 5 inches wide, and then 3 inches deep. We used the green foam board. We don't really even have to do it, I don't think.
Well, it's good.
Why is it good to have some insulation?
Well, just for energy efficiency. Sometimes they'll put scoria or gravel or sand or something like that in there, but we have the rigid foam insulation, so we thought we'd stick it in there. That should provide a little bit better R value. With that width, about 5 inches, and this stuff being 3 inches thick, I can't help but think that that's at least R20 in insulation at the bottom of that wall.
So what about air being the best insulation? Because you can see here, you have the sill plate. Okay,
by the way, when you're talking, this is a sill plate for sure, but when you're talking about straw bale walls, they call this a toe up.
Okay, so this is the sill plate / toe up. You can see where we have put the insulation here. So I've always heard that air is the best insulation, so why would that not apply here maybe?
Air isn't necessarily the best insulation.
Oh, okay. So
air is a good insulator. I mean, an air brake, an air gap is a good insulator, but no, it's not foolproof. These kinds of closed cell foam, rigid foam insulations are pretty good. I don't like the idea that we're having to put synthetic material in here, but we have it. Thought, well, I'll put it in here because it's pretty efficient. I think this stuff is at 1.5 inches thick. I think this material is probably, I don't know, R7.5 per inch. So 5 inches, well, that's, roughly 30 R. So that's not too bad. It's about on par with the actual straw bales. Straw bales would be about 30 yards.
Now, if you can look and see here, we've got this ledge. And also, this material is considered a building material.
It's considered structural.
A structural. So this space right here is going to be for the adobe bricks. So here are some spikes here. Those I'm assuming, because I don't know, because I haven't seen them because they came up after I left. I am assuming that's so the straw bales stick. So scream out. What are the spikes for?
The spikes are to hold the straw bale, the first straw bale in place while we install them, so they don't slip away from the bottom of the wall.
How many do you need?
Oh, I don't know. I'm spacing them like this. We have plenty of spikes, so I'm just staggering them.
Okay. And they're just giant nails.
Yep.
They look like screws, though. Screw nails.
Well, they have a ring shank on them, so they won't come out.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. So you're getting the idea here. You're just going to put some spikes in there to hold the straw bales in place when they're placed on the toe up, the sill, whatever you want to call it. You may be asking, hey Chip, how come you're not using galvanized spikes? And the reason that we're not using galvanized spikes is because we couldn't find any. Out here in this area, it's hard to get stuff in. And if you do find it, it takes weeks. Maybe it has to come from overseas, stuff like that. So, we're doing this with what we have. And, there may be some straw bale aficionados out there. I realize it's not right, but it's all we got. So, yeah. And I really don't think these will rust. Anyway, our climate is so dry that it would take forever for them to rust and deteriorate. But, these are just to hold the bottom of the wall in till we get it plastered and set. You may also, those of you who are looking at this, you see heated space over there. And you see an insulated wall here. It's like a straw bale wall. And why are you doing that? It's because that cellar down there is not heated space. And so this wall requires insulation around the stairwell. That wall requires insulation around the stairwell, but everything around it will be heated. And so you may be asking, well, E-Tip, why did you elect to do a straw bale here for an interior partition wall? And it's simple because it's easier. We were already building a straight straw bale wall all the way across here, and yeah, it takes away a couple of square feet, but it's square feet that we really don't have to have. So there you go. So to tie these bales to each other, we're using these long stakes. They're 3/4 by 3/4 garden stakes is all they are. They're pine. Some straw bale people say you should use hardwood or hemlock or something like that works best. Again, this is what I could find. So you want to stake them in section and third sections of the bale. So the first third, skip the middle third, second third, and it goes all the way through both bales. In this case, I'm going to drive these first ones down all the way into the insulation inside the toe up.
So how are you going to drive it all the way down? Shouldn't you put that in first and then set the bale on top?
Easier to drive it through like this. This is how I've seen it done in the videos. I get some resistance on the second wheel. Get in there. What? Must have been on a string or something. Okay, down there.
But how do you get it all the way down into the insulation?
Pound it down until it stops.
But that spike is shorter than...
It's exactly the length. It's exactly the height of two of these bales.
It is?
If I've got it down below the surface of this bale, I know it's going into the insulation. Okay?
Oh, it came out over here.
What?
I don't know. There's some kind of thing sticking out. The bale is out.
It sure did. What the heck? All right, we got to figure this out. It's absolutely plumb when you drive it. into the plate somewhere. Let's see. This is as far as we've gotten today. You see, we've got some bales that are staged here and ready to install. We were moving right along, and then we realized that we needed a more efficient way to shorten bales and to tie them up, make sure they're nice and tight. You know, like this one here, can't fit a full bale in there, so you've got to, you've got to cut it or separate some of it off and then retie it so it's nice and snug. And we needed an efficient way to do that, and so we took out some time today and built this. It's a little, I don't know, I guess you'd call it bale press or something. It's similar to one I saw somebody use once, and I thought, I can build that really quickly. And so it took us a couple hours to build one. But yeah, so you put your bale in there, you know, make it whatever length you want, and then this here goes down on, of course it's not set up properly for this one, but it smashes it, and then you can tie it up. So I need to make an adjustment here. I need to cut this right here, and I think I need to move the whole thing back a little bit, this press part, so that I get a better product out of this. And then I think also maybe it might help if we put sides on this. That would make it tough to tie, but at least two sides, so that the bale doesn't want to, blow out when you're squeezing it, that kind of thing. So I don't know, but we only have about 50, 60 of these things that we have to do this way, so I may not bother with it. Just, it's working, it's fine, we'll live with it. Big day, Robert. Big day.
What do I need to do? Anything?
Well, there we go. We got the box beams up, and we can fill in these voids here with more straw. That's a window. Yeah, came out pretty good. It was a lot of work. Guys were over here for about 5 hours placing those beams yesterday, and very happy with the result. So now, as you can see, the straw bales support this beam because it's sitting up above these bucks. The next thing to do is to finish filling in the wall where we need to, and then put some straps over top of this, cinch it down so that that box beam meets the tops of these bucks right here. And then we'll insert a strap there to hold it. Go around, do similar things around the rest of the house. This beam here, we need to set that a little more, we need to finish setting that. So we'll do that today. And then go on with the rest of the build. All right, so we've got to quit for the day, but you'll notice we put these straps on to cinch down that beam on top of these bales so that we have a nice, strong, tight wall that's level. And when we first put these bales in, they were sticking up about 2.5, 3 inches above the tops of these bucks right here. But since we cinched them down, you can see they're actually touching, and it was not easy to cinch them down 3 inches. There's not as much give to these bales as you might think. One thing it did do was produce a very strong wall. This wall, you could take these, these things and just sort of pull on the bales, and the whole wall would just sort of rock back and forth until we cinched it down. Now, I mean, it's solid as a rock. Compressing those bales really adds a strength. So happy we got that done. We have to quit now because it's getting dark and we are expecting weather. You'll see that Robert piled the bales up here close to the inside of the house here. We're supposed to get a little bit of rain, not a lot. I'm not really worried about the bales getting damp because the next day, the day after that, will be dry as a bone and they'll dry right out. If you let them sit out in the weather for a long, long time, yeah, they'll rot. But just a little event like this, like I said, we're expecting some rain tonight, just a little bit. And knowing our valley, we may not get any. There'll be a little sprinkle or so. And then in a couple of days, we'll have some snow. We're expecting our first snow of the season. So there you go. That's how it sits, and that's where we're at. I'm glad that we got everything, sort of put in and strengthened so that the winds can't blow it apart. And we'll just continue. We're doing this on the weekend, so we'll just continue every weekend until she's done. Plan is to have a roof on this by Christmas, and then we will just wrap the house in some kind of building, wrap for the season and leave it because it'll be just too cold to work. So anyway, that's it for today. Well, happy morning to you all. It's not the happiest of mornings for us. Last night we managed to get this back wall buttoned down, which is good. However, we were expecting wind last night, about 15-mile-per-hour winds along with a little rain coming in. Turned out to be a pretty good front that moved in with 45-mile-per-hour straight line winds, gusts to almost 60, And this is what it did. Took out this wall, and it also took out the wall on the other side. So we get to do this all over again. I'm not too beat up about it. I didn't really like the way that these bales were going in on this wall anyway, and had considered taking down parts of it and redoing it anyway. So, you know, the wind did it for us. But it's going to have to come down. I think this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these bales and compress it even further and shape them up really well before I put them back up. Because like I said, I didn't really like the way this wall was going up, or the other one. But yeah, that's the way it is, you know. This wall held up very nicely against the wind, though. Very nicely. So the bales aren't really wet. Like I said, we got a little rain, but what we got mostly were the winds. So yeah, we get to do this over again. So with the little bit of light we've got left, I'll finish building up this wall as much as I can, and then I'll fix that portion over there. It's sticking out. And then I've got to turn my attention to that side, but I'm glad I got these beams covered first. Here's an update on the off-grid straw bale home here at Contentment. As you can see, we're starting to put up the roof beams that we built, and that's coming along. Those things are really heavy, and it's hard to get them up there. But we managed to heft them up there by hand, believe it or not. So far, anyway. We get a little help from Dinah, as you can see through the window opening there. But once we get them here, it's all hand hefting all the way up to there. So there's a center beam here that'll be across the living area that'll help support that. Those roof joists and partition walls. We got some of the partition walls done over the Thanksgiving weekend. It was such a blessing. We had some people from church come over and help. That was so nice of them. I just really blown away. Robert and I were. So anyway, just walking through here and showing you some of what's been done. Closet area, bedroom, bathroom back here, and some closets. It's a very simple layout, and that's sort of how we wanted it. Keep things straightforward and simple. Here we go. We still got to put in some more bales, as you can see. I think I showed you the video already where the wind blew them down. We've got some of them back in place, and we've got to finish that. But our big thing is to get the roof on here before it gets too cold and snowy. I want to protect these bales and this lumber and everything from weather over the winter, and then we'll start back up fresh in the spring with plastering and siding and stuff like that. So this here, got most of this covered over, but this will be a utility room, and then stairs down to the basement. Stairs will go up here towards the second story. We can't really frame that second story up until we get all of these roof beams in, because we're using this floor to help us get them up there. Anyway, that's how it is. I'd like to thank you for continuing to watch us as we continue to learn and grow and figure out how to live an off-grid, more self-sustaining lifestyle. So appreciate your tuning in.